Yeah, I think the best quote that I have heard around the future of work is, uh, you know, my home used to be my home.
Mm.
Uh, in our new environment, my home is now my office. My home is a school. My home is, where I work out and get my exercise. Uh, my home is now a totally different environment. Um, and it really is the future of work for many organizations.
Hi and welcome to another episode of the People Hum interview series. I'm your host Vanessa at Leaders Hum. peopleHum is an end-to-end one-view integrated human capital management automation platform, the winner of the 2019 Global Cody Award for HCM that is specifically built for crafted employee experiences and the future of work. We run the peopleHum blog and the video channel, which receives upwards of 200,000 visitors a year and publish around 2 interviews with well-known names globally every month. We have with us today Ray from Thrive HR Consulting, where he acts as the management consultant. At Thrive HR, Ray leads, manages, and provides guidance in all facets of HR. Your model is helpful for companies that don't need full-time support, but need expertise and guidance in the areas of executive coaching, mergers and acquisitions, employee relations, diversity and inclusion, compliance, payroll, and digital workforce transformation. We are very thrilled to be speaking to Ray today here at People Hub. Welcome, Ray.
Thank you. It's great to be here. We're really excited about talking with peopleHum about our perspective from an HR professional, and what we're seeing in our clients.
Yeah. So, Ray, moving on to our first question, we'd love to know about Thrive HR and how it came to be.
Well, Thrive HR, we started the company in June of 2020. Um, my partner and I basically have worked together at several companies, at Cisco Systems, as well as at BMC Software. And we've also hired consultants to do work for us. And in talking with my partner Jason and I, we really felt that the consulting model really needed a change, and that many companies need consultants to complete a project, but that the model of time and material was just not a good model from a company perspective. We felt that we could help organizations with very specific projects that had deliverables and had a set fee. And we also felt that many companies really didn't need a full-time HR professional. What they needed was somebody, for 15 to 20 hours a month to help them with some of their HR processes, improve them, getting things done, kind of checking off important HR things that need to be accomplished. So that's why we kind of started the company, and why we're offering fractional HR support to our customers also.
Okay. So since you spoke about how Thrive HR provides services in selecting and retaining top talent, what are certain things you would say that leaders must keep in mind while following these processes?
Um, Retention of talent is a huge concern in organizations today. Um, Even with what's happening with COVID, with in some countries high unemployment, uh, there's still a need to retain top talent, and especially technical skills. Uh, so you know that talent is still being recruited very heavily by organizations. Our perspective on talent is really kind of multifaceted. Um, Probably the top things that managers need to understand around retaining talent. Number one, if you lose talent, the cost to replace them generally is, from 1 time to 2 times their total compensation. Because, if you have an employee who is a revenue producing employee, either a consultant or a salesperson or a developer, as an example. Um, losing that person, you're losing the revenue that they can generate while that position is open. Then on top of that, it takes time to hire somebody, and generally it's a 3 to 6 month ramp up to make sure that person is productive. So losing talent is a huge cost to the business, uh, and the things that really managers need to focus on are uh, one is really understanding the employee and kind of what makes them tick. Not everybody likes recognition. Not everybody likes money. Um, you know, Different people react differently to being valued in an organization. So I think the leader's responsibility is to know their employee, to learn what really kind of motivates them, and then to build a program or a recognition program around what motivates that employee. If it's education, if it's certifications, it could be, public recognition in meetings, whatever that is. Um, each person's different, and it's the manager's responsibility to engage with that employee and making sure that um, that they're well taken care of and that they're being developed. That's really, really important.
Yeah, I completely agree. Employee programs need to be treated as an investment and not as an expense.
Exactly, exactly.
Would you say there has been a shift in the way diversity and inclusion is approached over the past decade?
I think that is true, and even more so over the past 12 months. Diversity and inclusion, uh, you know, historically has been for corporations something they needed to do. uh, to be able to put in their annual report that we're an inclusive environment. We do these things for diversity and for inclusion. Uh, with all of the social unrest that has taken place in the U.S. and globally over the last 12 months, diversity has been and inclusion and belonging has taken center stage for organizations. Uh, and our perspective of that is, you know you've got to be able to answer the employees questions around, what are you doing for diversity, inclusion, and belonging. uh, and then, you know also, what exactly, are you, what are the results of that work that you're doing. And if you're not able to answer, what are you doing, what's the results, and how can I see them, uh, then companies have a problem, and especially companies that are client facing or customer facing, because not only do you have to answer that question for your own employees, a lot of companies will be having to answer those questions from their customers. So, we've been involved in some diversity programs for, as an example, companies in the restaurant business, where their customers are asking them, "What are you doing, for around diversity, inclusion, and belonging for your organization?" So I think the shift is becoming much more about being able to answer those tough questions, not only from your own employees, but from your customers and clients, because it's becoming a table stakes for organizations.
Yeah, very true. Like diversity and inclusion is moving from a nice to have to a must have now.
Exactly. It's exactly it. I mean, it really is critical.
So, how do you think leaders can build high performing teams, Ray?
Well, I think in the environment we're in now, where many employees are working remotely, um, the leader responsibilities and stepping up to the plate to become much more effective is critical to the success of a team. So a couple of things. You know, Before, leaders really, could manage by walking around. That's not the case anymore. Now, a leader has to be much more. attuned to what's happening on a Zoom call. Leaders need to be attuned to what kind of emojis employees are putting, as to where they're, if they're working or if they're taking a mental break. um, you know I think leaders also have to spend time with their employees and with their team, um, you know not just on project updates, but really seeing how people are doing. I mean, how is your employee doing with, with their kids, at home, virtually learning? How is your employee doing with, not being able to, go outside and exercise, having to figure out how to do that, inside their home? How are they doing with their level of stress, and are they having, difficulties with their family? Has somebody caught COVID? A parent or whatever. Um, so I think managers have got to really up their game, on, you know, being much closer and understanding their employees, and not forgetting that employees still want to be developed. They still need, to have those conversations about, so where do you want to be in 12 months or 24 months, and what can I do to help you develop your skills? Because that's still important from an employee perspective, even though you're not seeing them in the office every day. So I think, managers really have to, uh, you know have a different perspective on how they manage their teams. Uh, you know, they need to be creative, in employee engagement. We've done meetings where we've invited a goat from a rescue farm to join us for the first 10 minutes to just lighten up the mood, and we call it a goat to meeting, as an example. Um, I think we've also we're starting to see, you know, personalized recognition. We're using a company by the name of Wishlist, uh, so that, when we do want to provide recognition, it's not just here's a gift card. It's really about, here's, a recognition for the employee. Uh, you can tailor your recognition to whatever you want. If you want an experience, if you want to go to a concert, if you want to, get an Amazon gift card, or go out to a nice meal, the recognition can be tailored to what the employee wants, not to what I dictate as a manager. So, so those are examples of things that managers need to do, in our new world, of remote work.
Yeah. Now suddenly all the focus is on empathy, and employers just need to find a way to make people feel involved remotely, and
It
that's really
really is. It really is. I mean, empathy is a key word, and and it's not easy to do. I mean, some folks have a really hard time with that, and I think it's really important now, even more so in our new environment.
right. So Ray, moving on to the last question, do you have any quote that defines your feelings the best way around the future of work, workplace, and you?
Yeah, I mean, I think the best quote that I have heard around the future of work is, um, you know, my home used to be my home.
Mm.
Uh, in our new environment, my home is now my office. My home is a school. My home is, where I work out and get my exercise. Uh, my home is now a totally different environment. Um, and it really is the future of work for many organizations. I was just reading an article on Spotify, and how, now their employees can work from anywhere at any time, versus having to be in the office. So, uh, it really, from a human resource perspective, from a leadership perspective, uh, that really kind of opens up the world, as a place to recruit. Because now, I don't have to have everybody sitting, in Denver, Colorado, at our offices to be productive. If the best candidate is in Utah, I'm going to hire them in Utah. If the best candidate is in the UK, I'm going to hire them and figure a way to do it in the UK. So HR leaders need to be prepared for their managers and their leadership team to really push them around the future of work and how are you going to enable that for us at our company. So this is an exciting time for the HR profession, but it's also a very challenging time because there are limits on what you can do around the future of work. So we're actually doing a webinar in April on the future of work and can you really work from anywhere? That's the question. There are limits on what you can and can't do, but I think that we're going to be pushed as a profession to really help the organization define that sooner rather than later. So I think that's going to be a lot of fun to be in the middle of that.
That was really an insightful conversation, Ray, and I'm sure your answer is relatable to everyone in the world right now.
No, I appreciate it, and please, we'd love to talk to you. If anybody has any questions or if they want to talk to us, please look. Our website is www.thrivehrconsulting.com. So we've got our website there. You can you can email us, call us. We would love to talk to you and help you in any way. I mean, talking, it does not cost anything, and we want to share our knowledge and help anybody that's out there that needs the help.
Definitely. Thank you for sharing your time and your knowledge with us, Ray. This was great.